Okay. Are we live again? Hopefully we are. Take your swing. Hopefully we are live again. Gosh, I can't see the volume because the audio cuts off every time I cut off the window. But, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna have to boost that up by a lot. Or maybe not, because then the battles are gonna get loud. But yeah, okay, so we're back for just a quick one. So, yeah, in Senran Kagura Burst, 3DS edition, there's a little cutscene where Homura shows up into the tree dimension, and the game just kind of freezes and it doesn't let you move forward at all, which is quite upsetting. We tried it twice and it got stuck both times. Maybe there's something that you can do with the settings on the Citra emulator, so that maybe like the little cutscenes don't get all jacked up like that. Maybe there is a way, but I don't know it. So I'm gonna have to maybe do some research and maybe come back to that at some point. But I didn't want to leave you guys all, you know, blue-balled when it comes to the ending. So let's just do a, let's do a last-minute thing and have some sort of ending. Let's have some sort of thing here where we can at least show some sort of version of the ending for Burst. And let's see, I think yeah, none of these are the ones. I think the entire thing is just one big fat mission, right? Fire at Death's Door. Yeah, because all of this is the battle against Asuka. And this is, fighting, yeah, being Homura and fighting everybody. Yeah, so A, D, and D. Okay. Well, I got a D on silver, so let's do that. We're level 43. We're almost maxed out. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe tap on this with the story. And maybe see, how it compares to the original that I was saying was so much better. Which I do think... Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of this is the same. It's practically identical. Yeah, the script is almost the same. There's some tiny changes here and there. There's some tiny things that they do modify. Well, let's see. Okay, taking a while for it to load. Is this going to freeze as well? Hopefully it doesn't. It's probably just loading up the environment for Orochi's body or whatever. Oh, okay. All of that was just for text? Yeah, totally different from the original 3DS version that had like this road. It actually had like the level they were gonna be in. But here is just all of the blood and guts. Yeah, so this is definitely like a much more boring version of the original where you're not fighting any enemies. Looks really pretty in the surface, but doesn't hold a lot of substance. Yeah, like no enemies to fight here, you literally just walk a straight line. And you just do the boss battles. And that's it, there's nothing else to it. Which I think is super lame. Yeah, and so... here in the 3DS game is where the game just kind of freezes. And it doesn't let you move forward. Obviously, if you're playing this on the original 3DS, it does, but that's not the point. The point was that we were playing it with better frame rate on an emulator and, you know, recording all of this because we hadn't recorded it before. And so now, but yeah, look. We'll just do this now for the fun of it. Yeah, it stops right there, right at the end. And you know, the game already had problems with cutscenes and stuff. When you would do the ninja arts, it wouldn't animate, it would just stay static in like one area. But you could skip them by pressing any of the buttons, because that was just like baked into that, you know, no matter where you were, whether animated or not. But like, that cutscene doesn't have any coding in there for you to press a button and skip it. You have to wait for it to be over, but if it's never over because it freezes, like, what can you do? There we go. And she becomes the evil version. Yeah, yeah. Boy. When it comes to fighting the girls, they did make these environments themed around them, which is cool. I mean, they technically do in the original as well. They have their little illustrated backgrounds as well. They're also themed after the girls. The thing is that the actual like 3D rendered arena, I think, as far as I remember, the 3D rendered arena that you actually fight in, I don't think is themed. But when you're actually fighting, yeah, it is. Okay, every single time I get hurt, it takes away from the lock-on, and it's annoying me. Oh, God. How do you fight again? No, yeah, they literally showed, like, little flashes of every single environment. One with computers, one with, like, chemicals flying around. Yeah, the original already does this, too. God, I've completely forgotten how to fight. Oh, God. What the hell happened? What's wrong with the camera, dude? There we go. Yeah, I'm so used to playing with like the speed of the 30S game that now it just feels really slow and clumsy now that I'm trying to play it here. I'm out of practice. Yeah, I'm out of practice and I'm here doing like the final boss fights for this. Try parrying. How do you do that again? Oh yeah, I forget how you block. Okay, with this button. There we go. Oh god, and I gotta do all 4 fights, huh? With just 1 health bar. God, I'm just like phasing through the enemy. I'm trying to attack and I'm just like passing through them like a ghost. Boom. Ah. Oopa. Why does the lock-on keep, like, deactivating? It keeps undoing itself. I just get knocked out just a little bit and I'm not locked in anymore. It's so annoying. There we go. Ah. Yeah, she doesn't care. She just, like, ignores it and attacks me anyway. There we go. Okay. Can block stuff at least. Jeez, man. This is so slow and unresponsive in comparison to me playing Burst. This doesn't feel as good. Ow. Jeez. Yeah, it's super slow. Oh, wait. There we go. I'm just gonna do you in like that. Alright. Bye. That's 1 down. But we still got 3 more and I have no health left. So I'll try transforming. Alright. That's 1 girl saved. But I gotta keep going. So presumably you still have to, like, beat up a bunch of regular enemies in between each battle, right? I would say that it'd probably be a bit more challenging then. But on the other hand, you're not able to adjust the difficulty there. Here you can make it even harder, but these are just the bosses. I would rather have some enemies. Give me at least like 1 or 2 to fight. Christ. So stingy. Oh, Hikage. She looks way different here. That's what I sound like when I'm like in the toilet doing a big poop. Ha ha ha. Funny. There we go, and suddenly she has her regular transformation outfit. Oh god. And with the snake eyes and everything? By just up and down and up and down does the mouth. Right. So I don't remember Hikage's battle being difficult. I don't remember her being that bad, but I am gonna have to transform pretty much immediately. Because otherwise she's just gonna kick my ass. Alright. Let's do it. Red hair and everything. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some of that parrying action. Ugh. There we go. Nope. There we go. Yeah, we just have to get back into the groove of parrying, or at least guarding. Doesn't seem like I'm losing a whole lot of health, so I think I'm good. There we go. And if parrying knocks you over and that leads into an aerial raid, then that's great. Oh, now it's my turn. Okay. Oh. There we go. Or did I not hit you? Gosh, the camera is terrible. There we go. Staying in like little corners is the worst because you can't see anything. Wah. There we go. There. Ooh. Nope. Oh god. Okay, you broke my guard. Shit. There we go. I did that super early. I don't know how I successfully parried that, but I did it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Awesome, just dodge it. I love it when you do that. Okay. There we go. See ya. Bye-bye. You can't guard the purple attacks. You gotta parry them, I think. Or whatever. In the heat of the moment, I'm not thinking about that. About what color it is. I just guard and whatever happens, happens. Better than taking a ton of damage. What the hell did I do? Oh. I'm so used to pressing the B button, pressing it like a Japanese game. Here I gotta press like the bottom button. Yokatta. She's not really thanking God. Well, whatever. Yeah, sure. You knew exactly what was going on. Yes, and not me kicking you in the head constantly. Alright, just 2 left. Okay. If there's anything that the remakes... Oh, there we go, I guess I was still attacking. If there's anything that the remakes do better than the originals, it's probably these boss battles, specifically, because they essentially turned to bullet hell shooters. With, like, you know, special little formations and new animations for, like, you know, attacks and stuff like that. Alright, we're back here. I wish I could... Yeah, man, this guy looks weird. So Mirai's next, right? Mirai's actually interesting because she just does, like, some crazy bullet stuff here. I'm gonna put on auto. Now they're adding more stuff. You got the little computers in the back. You get the gears at the bottom. It just looks a bit more elaborate now. Hmm. This one is also pretty cool. All of these alternate boss songs are really cool. Yeah, and then she has that weird eyeball thing. There we go. And then the echo when you're like beating them up and stuff. Oh boy. No. Just narrowly dodges it. Yeah, this is gonna be a little tougher to parry. Though it looks like I can just block it, but there's gonna be some bullets that I won't be able to dodge, I'm sure. Like this, for example. Oh, there we go. I caught you. Yeah. Hey. There we go. I just have to very carefully time it so that I catch her right in the moment that she's open. Yeah, as soon as she finishes shooting, start attacking her. And then just launch her into the air. There we go, still dizzy? Oh god, oh god. Oh, awesome, one attack out of that whole chain hitter. Gosh, when regular attacks and arrow raids do most of the work, huh? Boom. Alright, do that. Hello. There we go. Blah. See you later. Bye-bye. Man, Mirai got the harsher punishment than everyone else. I didn't do that to all the others. Mm-hmm. Have you opened your eyes, Mirai? And by eyes, I mean like your one eye. Your classic one eye. Not your fault. Don't reflect on this. There we go. I guess Mirai is concerned that she ended up going evil and berserk. Like how she was afraid she was going to. You know, before. But I love the response from Homura here. If it bothers you, just be better. Be stronger. I keep hitting this button. Alright. Let's run over to her. And do the scariest looking character out of the four. Wouldn't this be much more interesting if there were enemies for you to mow through? If there was like a remake of the stage that we had before that doesn't exist here anymore. That'd be so cool. Alright, last one. This is actually admittedly pretty damn cool. Ooh, look at the background. Rose petals. All the little puppets in the background. You're a human being. This is a little better than like the 2D background that just has like a bunch of little chemicals and beakers and stuff. Duh. Okay, now here is where we have to be very careful, because otherwise we're just dead. Ugh. Oh my god, I missed every single one. Alright, big tornado. Opa. We're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Ah. I'm stupid. Oi. There we go. No! Oh, it's always that. I always forget about that last one. Oh, butt shot. Wait. Oi. Alright, just do that. Alright. I'm not gonna forget this time. There's one last little swing after this, right? Yeah, there we go. Oh my god, I'm locked in on you and I can't hit you. Do this. Chua, 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 chua. There we go. That did something. It's like the less I try to move, the more like spot on I am. It just like automatically gravitates towards the enemies, so like I shouldn't be trying to adjust. Just go for it. It'll like stick to her at some point. There we go. Okay. Get in there. Could have sworn you had more moves than just this, but if you're playing on hard, then all of these moves are more than enough to do me in. Alright, I think I know how to finish you off properly. Like this. Oh, there we go. It just disappeared. This is cool. Ah, trying to stop it. You can't. Pushing it forward. Oh, where are your swords now? Oh, but then the last one. That's awesome. That's like the best part of this. She loses all of her swords and she still has that last one and just finishes her off that way. Beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, damn.
私どうしてたの？やったぞ。これで全員助け出した。ホムラちゃん、大丈夫？気にするな。なんてことはない。人形になった私なんか放っておいてもよかったのに。バカを言うな。仲間の大切さを教えてくれたお前をどうして見捨てることができる？ホムラちゃん。
Great finisher, sick. You see, that's why you have 7 swords and not just 6. 6 is too little.
私は守ったぞ。仲間も強さも。
Yeah, so you don't fight Orochi at all. You just have a little boss rush and that's kind of it. Yeah, because technically Asuka's supposed to be doing that. But you fight her, Orochi in the opening to this. It went a lot smoother than your previous one? Yeah, because in the previous run I was on a higher difficulty. Okay. So, the script, the writing, all of this should be identical to the 3DS version. With a dying cry, the red world around me melts away. In its place, I see the dazzling radiance of the morning sun. Orochi's tattered body and all of its hatred with it blows away in the wind. I stand on top of the mountain of rubble, gripping the Hebijo super secret ninja art scroll. It's over. And there we go, just very unceremoniously, just boop! Just show the picture there. In the 3DS version, I'm pretty sure it's like a soft fade-in. I let out a long, slow breath, and the last of my strength gives out. As I'm about to fall over, I feel a warm hand supporting me. Is Mirai, covered in mud and looking ragged. She looks fine. Not just Mirai, Yomi, Hikage, Haruka, everyone's here. Everyone is here. My dear friends, they're all here. And then Captain Falcon's over there. A nice Climber's over there. And is that young Link? I've been wanting young Link since forever to come back. Thank goodness. I really did it. I protected my friends. Haruka surveys the ruins of the castle. Go to headquarters. The others nod and start to walk into the direction of HQ, but I stay planted where I am because I just killed Dogen. Although, I don't have to tell anyone that I did it. Mirai tilts her head and looks back at me. They all give me quizzical looks. Mirai squeaks in astonishment. I turn my face away. I don't want them to see me looking so sad. I look up and there they are, all standing with me. Mirai takes hold of my hand. Her tiny palm feels almost electric in mine. Just getting started, yeah. One problem after the other with these girls. Unemployment Street, great. Moving to Hanzo? That'd be cool. How? How would the scroll help you with that? Ah, big sneeze. Each of them give an idea. But they're all so all over the place, it can help burst into laughter. That's all it takes. Everyone bursts into laughter. We're beaten, battered, and bruised, and our future looks bleak, but we're still laughing. Even Hikage's still laughing? Ah! All of us, from the bottoms of our hearts. That's when I see it. 5 hazy figures across the rubble. Asuka with the other Hanzo girls beside her. Even when I was inside Orochi, I could sense Asuka. Me from the inside, Asuka on the outside. We were fighting Orochi together. Light and shadow, good and evil. Even though we fought on opposite sides, we both won. Well, not really. You don't have a home anymore. My friends see them too. Don't be a brat. As I listen to their exchange, I crack a smile. We'll see them again many more times. Yomi and Hikage both nod. There's no doubt, as long as we're shinobi, we'll continue crossing paths with the women of Hanzo. We're light and shadow, 2 sides of the same coin. I give her a casual wave back so I can be the cool person that I am. It's all I feel I should do. I turn toward the others. It would have been cool that after you beat the game, you end up in the cave. You know, in the cave that they live in. Any place is fine. Hit the road, yeah. Like Final Fantasy 15, just keep pushing the car and sing Stand By Me as you're going. We turn in the direction of the morning sun, smiling as we all start walking. We don't know what's waiting for us up ahead, but wherever we go, we know who we are, and we're ready to survive in the world of shadows. Though the light may never shine on us, I'm not afraid so long as we're together. Because for us, our friends are the only light we need. Ah. As I squint into the morning sun, I declare out loud. The beginning of a brand new Hebijo is not Hebijo at all. It's just them being them. And that's the end. Da da da. Da 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 da. I'm gonna sing over this because I got a content ID claim before. So I'm not gonna let you guys hear it. Ya ba 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 ba. Wa ba ba. Alright. Series creator and game designer Kiryu Takaki. Woo! Character designer Yagashinen. There we go. Additional writers Hiroshi Takane, Takayoshi Muto, Hichoma Harada, Imai Sami, Yu Kobayashi, Kari Mizuhashi, Yuka Yuuchi, Eri Kitamura. There we go! Well, in the 3DS version there was a different song. You didn't have to post it. Well, go ahead and do it. Whatever, who cares? I already know what song it is, but I guess, yeah, for other people that might be curious. But yeah, we did it. Technically, we beat it. We didn't beat it in the way that I wanted to beat it. But we beat it some way, somehow. Obviously, in the 3DS version, some of the stuff pans out a little differently. For one, the boss battles are, like, nowhere near what they are here. If I'm gonna compliment on the, if I'm gonna compliment the remake for anything, is, these boss battles in particular are fun. And obviously the battle of Asuka versus Orochi also has, like, a nice little ending. It's not as cool, but it does have like a little cutscene there that makes it cooler. This one I don't necessarily like as much, the credits I mean, because they do this thing where, like, it doesn't matter what story you go for, it's the same credits every time. It doesn't change. They show a mixture of all of the different little, you know, illustrations and stuff like that. Both kind of stories sort of lose their identity because, you know, in them being two totally different things, in this remake they kind of try to, like, have them both be the same thing in a variety of different ways. But yeah, we have the new pieces of Yageshinen art here for all of the girls. Seeing the super hyper detailed Daidoji toenails right there. And then Rin. So something that I'm not really gonna do is the Rin fight. Obviously, we have to beat the game in order to unlock it. And that cutscene thing just kind of leaves us frozen in the game. So, we can't really do anything about that, and we're not able to fight against Rin. But something that we are able to do, though, is that, we can play as Rin here. If you guys maybe have a minute, maybe we can just play, oh, there we go. We got those two images there. 2009. Damn. We can potentially play as Rin here. Just show her off for a second, but maybe do her mission as well. Have it be level 22. And there we go. I got a D again. Might have to try it again. Try and get an A. And you got those other things. Those little upgrades that you get as soon as you level up certain aspects. The music that plays here is nice, but I prefer the vocal songs that play for the credits. I mean, if a vocal version is going to appear anywhere in the credits, I would say, yeah, maybe that one. Great video. I have the remake for PS4, but I didn't have the time to finish it yet. I hope I can finish until the end of the year. Enjoy yourself. These ones are nice too. The only thing that I don't like is that it's just the one thing. Like, it doesn't change to anything different, but whatever. Alright, so after Chapter 5, it just defaults me back to Chapter 5. The strongest shinobi! Oh, I haven't done this on easy or hard. Defeat Rin. Now the sublime beauty of death draws near. I will be your guide on the final journey. Come, my students. Alright. We got a little teensy little bit of time left, so let's just do this, even if it is on easy. I'm hoping they do the 5 matches with all 5 characters. But yeah, we beat the story, and then is this. The battle against Hanzo, the battle against Orochi. Yeah. Performed admirably. Yeah. Is it too low? I feel like the volume is way too low on the stream. You guys can barely hear it. Alright. From now on, call me Rin. So, for anybody that would play Senran Kagura Burst, and obviously doesn't know about the sequels, hasn't played any of the other games, and this is like the only story context that you have, this is another really big twist. Because in the Hanzo story, they don't expand on Rin at all. Because, if you look at Kiriya's story, you think that she's dead, you know? As far as you're concerned, Rin is dead, and there's no reason for you to really talk about her anymore. She's not relevant to the current story. And then you're playing the Hebijo story afterwards in Burst, and you got this new, like, sensei character, their teacher. Her name is Suzune. You don't have any doubts, right? There's no reason for you to think that she's anyone else. And until after you beat the story, not only do you get the extra thing of like, oh, you can fight the teacher and you can play as her, she's like the Daidoji equivalent, but not only that, here's where they kind of drop the bombshell on you here, where it's like, oh, her name is Rin, like the girl that Kiriya was talking about, but I thought she was dead. Oh shit, she's alive, and not only is she an evil shinobi, she's the teacher of the evil shinobi group that we've been fighting this entire time, right? So again, one of the big things that I probably would have loved a lot more had I not played the future games first, I would have seen this and been like, oh my god, whoa, she's alive and she's a teacher and she's right here. And she's one of the strongest shinobi ever. She's actually alive, though every Senran fan knows this. Yeah, and especially for me, because Burst was not my first game. I played a whole bunch of other games before playing this. But yeah, this is supposed to be like the big, awesome twist. You know, one tiny little morsel of extra content for beating both stories. And also, it would be really crappy of the people that like wanted to be renegades, that wanted to be contrarians and say, oh, you want me to play the Hanzo story first? Well, fuck you, I'm playing the Hebijo story first. And then, you get this spoiled for you first, and then you play the Hanzo story second, and like Kiriya's talking about Rin and stuff. And like, you're already like, there's no effect here. You're already spoiled on it because you know the Rin is the teacher from the other side. If you cannot defeat me, you'll never survive the future you face. Yeah, being a renegade. And none of the other characters are involved. None of them have anything to say about it. None of them have anything to say. It's just Homura. Alright. So yeah, presumably we're fighting everybody. Well, we're fighting as everybody. Or is it just... Or is it just the one match with one character? That would really suck. You're my adorable, cute students. Oh god, this sucks. Alright, so Yomi goes first, but we're not playing as Yomi because we've already beaten this. Always treasure that brightness. The text is so incredibly small. I'd be shocked that you guys could read it at all. Okay, so am I gonna be like beating her as Homura all 5 times? That blows. I don't like that you can't do the whole like play with all 5 characters after you beat it once. Even if you go through the regular story. You can read it? That's really small. I can barely read it. Okay, I might have to just transform and spam ninja arts because this is gonna take forever otherwise. Also, yeah, I really would have loved to see Rin in the 3DS version because she plays like much more differently. She has different moves and, you know, obviously like her mechanics and stuff, she animates differently. Here is just a copy of the Estival versus 1. If you've played other Senran games, then you know how she plays. There we go. There we go. Bah. Alright, boom, boom. I'm gonna do that. Shot. I mean, we can still see the little blurbs for all of the characters, but we can't play as any of them. Alright, beat you once, gotta beat you 4 more times. Talked about Yami before, now? Kage. There we go. Some nice words of wisdom from the teacher. Come on. Luckily for me, I'm level 44. I'm almost maxed out, so it doesn't really matter how much I get hit. I'm pretty powerful now. So I don't have to wait until oh no wait, I think I do have to activate try and take at the beginning of the match, right? It's not like other games where I can kind of just do it whenever I want as long as I'm in Flash, right? Boom! Alright, we still got 3 more battles, so I kind of want to save my transformation for just a little bit later. If I do it now, then that'll be my final health bar. I'm not going to be able to regenerate more unless I level up, but I'm so high level that I find that very unlikely. Boom! Boom! There we go. Ah! Yeah, she has like weird like shadows. So I remember, I think in the 3DS version and in Shinobi Versus, her teleportation involved her just like disappearing. Like she literally just, it looked like she's teleporting whenever she dashes. But here I think they made her have like a shadowy kind of trail, which doesn't look as cool. I think it looks worse. It doesn't look as cool when she literally just like vanishes. That's always better. When there's some visual way to tell where she's going, then that kind of defeats the purpose of her being the fastest and most imperceptible shinobi ever, right? Who's next, Mirai? It is you who have made this happen. Great words of encouragement. Mariah have friends and it's because of you and your efforts. And not luck. Alright, there we go. Thank you for dragging me in to be closer to you. Got this camera. Yeah, it's because like the tree gets in the way and so the camera moves in front of the tree. It doesn't make the tree transparent or pass by the tree. Oh boy, we're just swinging at nothing now. There we go. Alright, this is taking too long. Ah! And with her stupid little dashes, it's gonna be tougher to get a hold of her. It's funny that we're only fighting inside this little courtyard and not all over the market, the shopping district. Alright. Boom! I'm almost done. There we go. Done. Second time I did that to you. Alright. Next. And now we're going with Haruka. What words do you have to say to her? Shao. The beauty of death. Shinobi Tare. You who cannot be restrained have chosen a path to walk. Nah, come on, you didn't say anything specific about Haruka. It was just like you all chose to be very cool and take care of each other. Like that. Come on, you didn't say anything specific about Haruka. You said something like totally like generalized for everybody. Hey, there we go. Is it even possible to hold swords like that? I feel like it would break your fingers off. With Homura, don't think about it too hard. It's anime land. It's a work of fiction. This is not actually happening in real life, so I don't know. I don't know what the use is in asking those kinds of questions. It's like funny lol meme man video game reviewer questions. This wouldn't happen in real life. That doesn't make any sense. That, who cares? It's fiction. It's not real. And she's supposed to be like the superhumanly strong shinobi anyway, so she would be able to do it. I'm getting like increasingly like more sick of those kinds of things of like, oh, here's this fictional thing, but that wouldn't happen in real life. And like, that's it. No punchline, no purpose, no nothing. Just point out fictional thing is in fact a fictional thing. And that's it. Nothing else needs to be said, and that. I just find that very exhausting. That was funny back in like 2005. Back in the Newgrounds days. Alright, did you win again? Was I blinded by ego? Alright, last one with Homura.
何事もノルマが終わってからが本番。いざグレンのごとく舞い散れ。最後だ。ホムラ。今までよく頑張った。この先にさらなる強敵が現れようともグレンのごとく舞い忍べ。そしてアスカとの決着に勝利しろ。
Achieve your final victory against Asuka. Okay. She just said you have many more people to beat up. So just get stronger. There we go. Yep, get close. God, finally. Finally, these attacks work. Usually only like 1 out of every 20 attacks actually hits. There we go. There we go. Ironically, we're doing her in a lot faster than any others. I got her down to a science. Now she's losing clothing. Cool. Boom. Oh, you did it on me now. God, just lock on. Just goes away whenever it wants to. Boom. I'll be sure to do the final blow on you properly. Alright. Bye. There we go. There we go. After doing that to you like 3 times on the 4th one, that's how you get it. Not even a challenge. Alright. Continue. We're done. And with this, we're done. We didn't quite do it in the way that we wanted to in the 3DS version, but at least, hopefully this is a replacement. Ah, they put her clothes back on? Lame. For the renegades is difficult. Yeah, it seems like they're doing just fine so far. Not a problem.
たとえ抜け人になったとしても、お前たちが私の生徒であったことに変わりはない。ではさらばだ。私の教え子たちよ。
Farewell. Chua!
ありがとうございます。先生から教わったこと、私たちは忘れません。
Hopefully something fixes that bug. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably have to go into the settings and do something in there. I don't think I got an A. Probably like a C or a B. A D? Why a D? Did it really take that long? Well, I got a lot of money though. Oh, great! I just unlocked literally the worst fucking ability in the entire game. After a double jump, press X to fall quickly. That sucks so much shit. Why do they have this in the game? I've never been comfortable with this ability. It just screws up my flow so much. I despise that ability of pressing X a 3rd time and dropping down. The worst. But anyway, Let's go and save our progress. We saved? Alright, I guess we saved. Well, there we go. We have all of the... Oh yeah, so this is Skirting Shadows, this is Burst, and this is Burst Renewal. Which one do I like best? I don't know. I think I like this one. No idea. I already went through the trouble of selecting all of my favorite ones. Back when we were playing this. Yeah, ironically, I don't really like the newer ones. The newer ones are a little too extra. I like the older ones a whole lot more. Yeah, and because this one's for DLC, you have no choice but to. And there was no older version of these ones. I guess you can go for Shinobi versus, but that would kind of miss the point. Yeah, I like looking at these, although, yeah, the older art for me has always been better. Yeah, it's just a little much. I like the simplicity of the older ones. Okay. Well, I'm done. After many technical issues, we're finally done playing Senran Kagura Burst, and I am done streaming for a good while. I'm gonna wait a little bit before I do the Neptunia crossover. I kind of want to give streaming a rest, especially after all the technical issues that have been pissing me off. I do want to have time to do other things, and I haven't been able to play SMT5 at all, so, yeah. I have been able to play, like, maybe 1 or 2 more sessions beyond where I was, live streamed, but I still feel like I haven't been able to play enough. I remember when you defeated and removed clothes in Estolo versus, the clothing doesn't return during the dialogue. Yeah, and that's what made it more fun, that all of that would stay. Obviously, it would still be covered up, right? But, you know. It just kind of takes the wind out of my sails when they remove it. When they have to, like, give more clothing after the fact. Understandable, but it was a fun ride. Yeah, I mean, unless there's some fix to the emulator where I can play through the finale without the game freezing or whatever, then I can probably, you know, come back and do that real quick. But as it stands, as far as I'm concerned, we're done. You know? And this is not even the first time that we do the finale through Burst Renewal specifically, right? We've already done this before. I'm just doing this just so that, you know, I could give you guys, like, proper closure or something. I didn't just want to end the stream and just have that be it, you know? Understandable, but it was a fun ride. I guess it's for the best. I still really like the stories. Yeah, the stories are fine. I don't know. When it comes to the Hanzo and the Hebijo stories, it's weird. I like the overall setup of the world in the Hanzo story. I kind of like the bigger stuff. I think, like, the build-up to the final battle is much better in the Hanzo story. But when it comes to the more, like, personal character interactions between one character and the other, the more smaller-scale stuff, I think the Hebijo story does it better. In fact, I feel like everything that revolves around the ninja art scrolls and the final battle is too, like, shoehorned in. It's like they really tried to force the final battles to happen in the Hebijo story, and it just feels just kind of rushed and just not very good. I kind of liked it so much better when it was just the Hebijo girls just kind of messing around and talking with each other and being funny and all that stuff. Learning their backstories, all of that, you know? When all of the conflict was within the group and not, like, trying to mess around with the other school, it's almost like the Hanzo school was, like, trying really hard to have something to do in that story, you know? And really try to shoehorn in the battles at the end. And then, like, at the very last moment, try to have, like, the Dogen stuff that just feels like an ass pull, just so that both good and bad had, like, a common enemy to fight against. It just kind of sucks. The wider story that's supposed to happen. But, yeah, the individual character interactions and everybody just, like, being friends, that's a lot more believable. I like that a lot more. Hebijo just have better backstories in general. Backstories and, like, current, like, character dialogue and interactions, everybody's really funny and entertaining. I like it a lot. the gameplay, the fighting, honestly, I have to say that I like the burst story better. I like the burst version of the combat a lot better. It's classic 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up kind of stuff. But obviously feels like evolved because this is more of a 3D plane. You can go up and down, and you know, you can do the aerial raves and do the aerial ninja arts and the ground ninja arts and then the ultimate ninja arts, and as the story progresses you keep learning more stuff. The little cinematics for all the special attacks are really cool. Obviously playing this on an emulator means that you can play this at 60 frames per second at a higher resolution. I was even looking at the graphical settings for the emulator, and I was saying, like, you can do, like, 4K anime shader graphics or whatever, so we could potentially have that game look even better. So, yeah, I don't know. I would agree that Hebijo's better backstory, though I think Cat is on par with them. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the backstories, we didn't even get to see all of them, technically, right? Like, Yagi's one is still missing. We don't really know a whole lot about Asuka either, other than just, like, her grandfather. And this is all, like, holes that are filled in later with Shinobi Versus, where, you know, I think you see Hibari's story in Shinobi Versus, a lot more expansion on Yagi's story in Shinobi Versus, plus, more stuff, right? More stuff. And I think that's great. I think this is a really good stepping stone for the future titles that come later, right? I think, the best way to continue on with the burst story, I would say, is with Shinobi Versus, and then if you still want more Senran Kagura goodness, I would say go back to Deep Crimson, and then Estival Versus, just kind of jump back and forth between 3DS and PlayStation, and get a little bit of both worlds, and I think you have something good going on there. But yeah, overall, I know I did a lot of complaining towards the end. I know, I whine and I bitch about stuff. But that's me. I've always been a critic at heart. Even for games that I absolutely love and adore, I always point out a million things that I think are wrong with them. But that doesn't stop the fact that Senran Kagura Burst is one of the better games out there in terms of the action games. I would say that I probably like Burst definitely better than the remake. Would I put it higher than any of the other more modern games, like Shinobi Versus or Estival Versus? No, not really. Even though Estival Versus I have a lot of problems with. I would say, you see, now that I played it, you know, with better frame rate and stuff, who knows, maybe I might put it, like on the same level as Estival Versus, where, like, the more that I play it, the more I like it. Because as much as I crap on Estival Versus, that also doesn't stop the fact that I have, like, borderline 300 hours on that game, right? Like, I still played it a lot. That has to mean something, right? If I didn't like it, I wouldn't have played it that much. And so with Burst, I still have, like, the extra missions and stuff. The thing is, you know, one thing that I'm really worried about is that I don't have any access to any of the extra missions and stuff on the Hebijo side either. I'm, like, completely locked out of all of that stuff because I have to finish the story, and I can't because the game, like, stops at the tree part, right? So I can't even go back and do extra missions or anything, which sucks. But I can do that in the Hanzo story, you know? But yeah, I do feel like maybe going back and playing that game more frequently on my own, just because of how well it runs. But yeah, sound-wise, it still sounds great, you know? It still sounds awesome. I like the super unique costumes and customization stuff that you got going on. Obviously, it's super basic in terms of the details. You know, like what kind of outfit for what kind of situation do you want to use certain things for, the accessories and how to adjust them and all that stuff. But I do like that every category of outfit is like an original outfit for every character, right? For, like, the big animal costumes, like, every character's a different animal. It's not just the same animal, and different colors for each one, you know? There's a lot of love and attention for everything that you can get, right? Which is something that you don't get in the modern games. Everything is just the same for everybody, with the same colors. And, now that you have DLC and you can, you know, charge people for that, then there isn't as much content to dive deep into in the more modern games. Because everything now is just DLC, you know? Which is awful. Here, it wasn't so commonplace, you know? It wasn't so commonplace to have that kind of business practice, so they kind of put their best foot forward right out of the gate, and they added as much content as they possibly could right there in the cartridge when you were playing. And the best way to do DLC was with Deep Crimson, where it was expansion packs that not only had new story stuff, but came with new clothing, new customization, new everything. It was a pack that just had a little bit of everything. And there were multiple packs of those. And I think that was always great. Much better than now, where they take like the exact same outfits, and they keep reselling them to you with every new game. You know, even if they're on a different console. Do you think they'll bring Senran Kagura 2 to PS4? I'd like to play it. What a very specific question. I don't know. They said that they wanted to remake Deep Crimson after Senran Kagura 7, but that game hasn't come out yet, so who knows. And there is not a confirmation, but implication that the series will continue, but there's no specifics as to what that actually means, right? That could easily mean, oh, the phone game is still a thing, and we'll keep putting out updates for that, right? It could easily mean just go play New Link, or, you know, there might be other Senran Kagura games, and who knows, maybe a way to buy time for Senran Kagura 7, if that ever comes out, is to maybe do the Deep Crimson remake first, and then have Senran Kagura 7. I have no idea. I have no idea. I know that a lot of people would love a remake of of Deep Crimson. I know that I have said, I'm sure there's old recordings of me saying that I would love a remake of Burst, but after doing the Let's Play a while back, again, playing it on an emulator and then playing it back on 3DS, and really thinking on it, thinking about the graphics and the sound and what it does, I really don't think it needs a remake. Because what are they gonna do? Are they really gonna have the exact same game as the 3DS game and just port it over to a modern consoles? Because in that case, that wouldn't be a remake, it'd be a remaster. And I'd rather that than for them to totally remake the whole thing and then have this total botch job as like Burst Renewal, where they take away the vast majority of what makes the game fun, they censor it to holy hell, all of the newer guests and the new Hebijo characters are DLC that you have to pay for, and then there's really anything that's new is like DLC that you have to pay for on top of buying the game, right? It's almost like the game would be like an empty shell, and then you add all of the interesting shit later by spending more money. And that to me is pretty predatory, and I wouldn't agree with that. And yeah, if it's on PS4 specifically, you know it's gonna get censored. There wouldn't be any intimacy mode, they wouldn't let you, like, you know, strip all of the girls completely. I would wait for like a release on PC or something. People always say Switch, I would say PC, because they have a better track record of putting stuff on PC and barely putting anything on Switch. So, people always say Switch, I don't know. But yeah, if there ever is a remake, I would have a very, very cynical, negative expectation of it. I feel like they would just take away most of what made it good, and it wouldn't even have the DLC included. Like, the DLC that they had before, they'd probably resell it to you again. And then on top of that, the different outfits and the accessories and all that stuff, they probably just pull the same tricks over and over again. And I wouldn't like that. It's kind of gotten to the point to where, like, if there is a Deep Crimson remake and they do all of that stuff, I'm probably not even gonna buy it. Like, I'm not even gonna bother with it. Because I've had it up to here with, like, the ridiculous DLC, them recycling content, and then when they come up with a new game, is them removing like 75% of the content. And then the mechanics are stupider as well, with the Neptunia and Senran crossover, where there's like no transformation, no close breaking, and then when you fight, you only press one button that does everything. You know? You might as well be playing New Link, right? Just select your characters and just let the game play itself. Because they want to simplify it to make it more accessible. They want to make it more accessible and open for the wider audience, which means to stupefy it, to censor it, to like take away all of the identity that these games had, and just make them suck. You know? That's why for me, like, the final saving grace for me is Senran Kagura 7. That to me seemed like a legit, like, big action game. The ending to like this like Shin saga, you know? To me, it seemed like we were gonna have a proper ending, but then Sony came in and ruined everything. And now, like, the destiny of the game is up in the air, you know? Nobody has said that the game is canceled other than people that are growing desperate to see it. People say that it's canceled, but, like, unless there's, like, an official announcement that it is canceled, I'm not gonna believe anything. And, after the 10th anniversary, the fact that they bothered to celebrate it a little bit with a new website and implying that, you know, the adventures will continue, that means that they might have a Senran Kagura 7 coming, but it's just not going to be the game that they wanted to make from the beginning. It's going to be this, like, hyper-censored thing. They had to rebuild the whole game from the ground up, and it's just not going to be the same. So, the only thing that I can expect, the only thing that I would want is at this point is to just finish the story. Because if the future is uncertain, and if it's going to be this difficult to keep making Senran Kagura games because of the censorship and stuff, then at least have Senran Kagura 7 be the ending, or an ending, right? Something where, like, all of the loose ends are you know, are tied up. We see what Shin looks like, we defeat it. There's a lot of implications that there might be advancements for, like, Kagura's story. You know, do something of, like, oh, you know, Ikaruga and Katsuragi, they graduate and they live happily ever after somewhere. Katsuragi, you know, frees her parents. You defeated, you know, Katsuragi took part in defeating Shin, and now headquarters wants to reward us with something big. We'll fulfill any request, whatever you want. And Kat's like, forgive my parents for what they did. And it's like, okay. And that's her happy ending, right? And, with Ikaruga, she just wants to, like, continue her shinobi things. And that's the happy ending, right? Or whatever. Everybody gets their little happy ending, and just, you know, just end it right there. And if there's no more Senran Kagura games after that, that'd be fine. I just need to see 7, and I just need that to be wrapped up. I don't want to be like, I just don't want to, I don't want this to be left hanging forever. People say it's dead, but I need to see confirmation of that. Yeah. Unless there's a press release by Marvelous or Honey Pride Games saying that the game is not going to happen, then I will be very, very mad at Sony for basically taking top billing and ruining that series. Yeah. They must be under some sort of contract. Because I don't understand the purpose of making these games console exclusive. Like PS4 exclusive. If you want to play the Neptunia crossover, it's PS4 only. Nowhere else. And I think that's ridiculous, you know? And now that, you know, Marvelous and Xseed have gotten into the habit of, like, porting games over to other consoles and on PC, specifically on PC, right? All of the Senran Kagura games are on PC. And with Burst Renewal, it's like the better version because it has all of the features and it doesn't censor as harshly. So, but again, in Japan, the PC platform is not as popular as, say, mobile phones. It's not as popular as, say, Switch, you know? Like, anything that's portable, right? Consoles are not that big in Japan. Much less PC, because people, there's a reason for why so many people in Japan are thin and not that fat. Not as fat as us, you know? Because they're always outside, they're always moving around, they're always being social, they're always active, they're always moving around. And so if they want to play games, they can't be carrying around like a million game consoles. If you can just download it on your phone, that's what you'll play. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know? It's knowing your audience and giving them what they want and what they need. And here in America, we're a bunch of fat fucks that don't like to go anywhere, that don't like to move around and stuff, and we just sit here on our desk for hours on end playing on PC, right? Or playing on a console. We like to sit down and have a session of it, a big, long gaming session instead of, you know, just playing a free-to-play game for like 5 minutes and then putting it down and that's it, right? That's most people in Japan. Oh, here's a free-to-play game with the brand that I like. Whether that's Final Fantasy, or Dragon Quest, or Idolmaster, or Love Live, or anything, right? Or Azure Lane, or Genshin Impact, you know? That's why people would rather spend a lot of money on super powerful phones instead of a PlayStation 5, right? Because, they need that powerful phone with like 2 terabytes of memory so that they can play stuff like Genshin Impact, right? Stuff like those hyper advanced games that are like taking over the mobile market now. You know, and so when I think about all that and I think about Senran Kagura and how it's basically this like console exclusive series, it's like, how is it gonna move on, right? It's struggled ever since Festival versus, you know, it was doing very well with Burst, with Deep Crimson, with Shinobi versus and Asimo versus. You want to know the commonality between all of those games? All of them were portable games. They were all, 2 of them were on 3DS, and 2 of them were on PlayStation Vita. You know? And then when they moved on to just doing console stuff, like, they weren't doing as well. They were doing, like, spin-offs and bullshit like that. Right? PS4 exclusives, and then eventually coming over to PC. And it still wasn't, like, portable, right? And so... It adds more credence to those games, or at least newer games being on Switch, right? Because that's portable too. And it adds more credence to New Link, because that's also portable and is doing very well right now. But yeah. I don't know, the future is very uncertain. The future is very uncertain, and the series is not popular enough, and it is not beloved enough for anybody on this neck of the woods to ever give a shit, you know? They're not gonna support it, and they're not gonna like it. They're gonna see video clips of the clothes ripping and the nudity and stuff, and they're just not gonna think that there's any value in it, and they're gonna be like, well, if it gets canceled, like, who even cares, right? I don't care. I've never heard of this game. If I've never heard of it, then it probably wasn't even that good. You know, that's what people are gonna say. And it gives, like, people like Sony more ammunition to be like, well, there's no demand, so why let this come out, right? Or, like, nobody's gonna stand up and speak against us censoring it because it's not God of War, right? It doesn't make $20 million every second. So, like, they're just gonna neglect that and not care for it as much as they would their big multi-million-dollar stuff. Especially now that they want to be Marvel, they want to be Hollywood, they want to be Netflix, all at once. And that's just, like, you know, kind of ruining the scene there for Sony. An iconically Japanese space that has now been tainted by wanting to be as American and as Western and as Netflix as possible. And so now I don't really like Sony stuff or PlayStation stuff all that much because it just reeks of unoriginality. It reeks of wanting to be validated by other mediums that don't care about them. Instead of being this authentically and uniquely Japanese thing, right? Even more so than, say, Nintendo, right? They had an identity and they threw it away because they wanted to, like, appeal to a different kind of audience. Even down to the details of, like, the PS5 controller. Even if you're using a Japanese PS5, you have to select stuff with X and you cancel the circle. Even though the Japanese way is the other way around. And so now, like, even with Japanese consoles, they're forced to do it in the American way. Which sucks. Sony censoring everything. Well, not everything. But anything that's Japanese that has, like, fan service and stuff, yeah. Wasn't there, like, a puzzle game that removed all of the girls with, like, little bunny rabbits and stuff? It's ridiculous. Bring new games to PC should be better. I hope they translate New Link someday. Yeah, but that's... We're getting to the same thing. We're like, looping back around to the same problem of, like, is there a market for that? In Japan. Because remember, these are Japanese games, and they primarily have to sell good in Japan. And, like, as an afterthought, they see if there's, like, interest in the West, right? And so putting games on PC is not good money for Japan. For Japan is not good business to make PC exclusive stuff unless it's like an MMO or something. They turn them all into furries. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, like the PS4 version is like this weird, like, bunny version, and the Switch version has normal human beings. No, don't get me wrong. I mean, the game generally looks like shit. Looks like a Flash game that you play in a browser. But, like, the fact that it's even down to those games, right? That those get changed a lot. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, one thing is what I want, and another thing is what the business says, right? And Japanese developers are super duper duper business centric. You know, how much merch are you selling? How many sales you got? You know, if it doesn't sell enough, it doesn't matter how loved the series is. Kill it off, move to the next thing. You're already working on a different game, you know? And it seems like, you know, Takaki maybe tried to do something like that, right? Tried to expand and make something beyond Senran Kagura. Because he always tried, like, having, like, newer IPs, right? He tried Uppers, he tried Valkyrie Drive, he tried, Kandagawa Jet Girls. Like, he tried all this other shit, and nothing worked, right? Senran Kagura was, like, I don't want to say a fluke, but there was something special there, right? That's what Senran Kagura has been able to, like, survive beyond all of these other games that have come and gone, right? But yeah, maybe that struggle was just too much. Too many forces that are against that. And that's why Takaki left. He left Honey Parade Games, and now he's with Psy Games, working on other stuff that is obviously not, you know, super fan servicey, but it looks like he's just pursuing his passion. He's doing something that he has always wanted to do. Even during like Senran Kagura interviews, he has always said, "I want to make a game that's like a cool like kung fu kind of game." And I think he's doing that along with this new project. Like, he's like making his things come true. Although a lot of it is like console exclusive as well, so like he's kind of stuck in the console thing. Yeah, but I don't know. The video game industry is wild. It's a lot of big business. If you want games to be made with passion, go to the indie games industry, because with indie games, it's like 2 or 3 people in their 1-bedroom apartment. All 3 of them are like sharing the rent. You know, they're all like splitting the rent together with their part-time jobs. And they're there just programming all day, day in and day out. Or sometimes it's like a solo developer, right? In their spare time. Not even as a full-time thing, right? They go to work, they come back, and they spend the rest of the night coding something. And that's the kind of stuff that really paves the path for everyone else to like copy and stuff like that. I feel bad to Takaki when it comes to the series. Yeah, I feel bad for him too. I feel like he got severely fucked over. I feel like if it weren't for Sony and all the censorship stuff, Senran Kagura 7 would have already come out and we would already be playing it. That game would have been out last year. That game would have been out last year. We would have already played it. My playthrough would already be here on YouTube. But yeah, things happen. Things happen. He just couldn't handle it anymore, and now he's doing something else, you know. And I feel good for him in that aspect, right? That he kind of wiped the slate clean, and now he's pursuing other things, right? I'm proud of him, but at the same time, I feel like he wasn't done. I feel like Takaki was not done with Senran Kagura, and he was forcibly torn away from it because he just couldn't handle it. He just couldn't handle all of the struggle with that. We gotta call it soon. If you need to leave, you can leave. I'm just here shooting the breeze with all of you guys. I'm just here talking, and this is like the highest amount of viewers that we got. We got the highest amount of viewers now, with me just talking as opposed to me actually playing the game. But yeah, what else is there for me to talk about? I think I've already covered everything. Especially stuff that most of this I've already said a million times. But I'm just kind of rephrasing it and saying it differently. It's just different musings and reflections on all of the stuff. Let's see, I'm just gonna do one last little pass through my mind and see if there's anything else that I want to say. But other than that, yeah, we could call it right here. Oh yeah, so I mean, we still got the Neptunia crossover that we gotta play, but I'm not gonna play it like immediately. Like you're not gonna see me. You're not gonna see me playing this tomorrow. I kind of want to give streaming another little break because you know, there's just been a lot of technical issues. If it's not OBS that breaks, it's the game that breaks, and you know, I wanna like train myself to not let myself get too annoyed when people type cringe in the chat or something. I just need to learn to behave myself and not be too ranty. I want to train myself to be a little better and just kind of focus on the game a little bit more, and just leave the rantiness and the discussions towards the end, where I can kind of just give my full attention to all of you. But I don't know. I'm also thinking about the second channel, because I think it's so much better to just leave the streams here on the main channel, because whenever people do secondary channels, people always have this logic of like, nah, you know, people like this kind of content and other people like this other kind of content, so we're giving them all their space. And thanks to Hololive and thanks to all these other channels that just don't care and they just do whatever they want with their one channel, I think it's stupid to have secondary channels, unless it acts as like a backup in case the main channel gets into like copyright issues or gets demonetized or something. It could be a good backup, but for the most part, I think having a secondary channel kind of blows, because it just fragments your audience and you're starting from zero again, and you always get like a tiny percentage of viewers on the secondary channel than you ever would on the main channel, right? Any game that I play now, it doesn't matter if it's live streamed, it is gonna get like way more views than it does on the secondary channel. Secondary channel, there's so many videos that I have that have like 0 views, bar none. But at least here we get like a nice solid 40 to 50. Man. Okay, I already gave my little Senran rant. I can't think of anything else to say, so I'm just gonna call it here. This secondary stream was already pretty sizable as is. It was supposed to be just one stream, but like, OBS just dumped itself and just crashed. So we did the second one. We did not finish the Hebijo story technically, but we at least had the remake. The remake that I crapped on so much as a backup. And so at least we did it like that. But if it ever does get fixed, and if I ever am able to proceed beyond where I was, then maybe we can do an exception and do like an extra little thing where I play through that ending just to see what it looks like. And of course, if you guys want to see what it looks like on your own without waiting for me, you can either go on YouTube and look up a Let's Play, you can either buy the games yourself, you can either, yeah, like just download the game on the 3DS eShop and play it for yourselves, and you guys can beat it like that, and you guys can see. I mean, it's pretty much identical to the remake, but they're just tiny little details that are just different. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I'm done. I need to play more Shin Megami Tensei 5, I need to finish more Dragon Quest. There's a lot of games that I need to finish that I'm not even close to finishing because I'm just busy doing other stuff. I just want to focus more on my work. Just do other things than to just live stream. This burst playthrough is the first thing that I ever streamed after my break. And I do want to insist that the streaming thing is not a daily thing that I'm going to be doing forever. This is going to be more of a thing of like whenever I feel like it, whenever there's a game worth playing, whenever there's something that people are interested in, because doing this takes away time from other things, and again, the same thing that I said on my break video, that you know, I'm just not built for this kind of thing, at least not in the long term. So once in a while I'll come back and do some stuff, but for the sake of my sanity, I'll stay away from it from time to time. But okay, thank you everybody for coming. Now I'm just rambling in circles. I'll see you later. Thank you for sticking around. Sorry for all the technical hiccups. And I'll see you later. Senran Kagura Burst. Still a good game. Still holds up. And I really do mean that original 3DS version is still good. If you guys own the game, find a way to play it on an emulator. It's I highly recommend it. Obviously there's glitches and bugs and stuff, but 99% of the game works very well. So I recommend it still. I like it so much better than I ever did before. I'm glad I did this. And yeah, thank you everybody for coming. And I'll see you guys next time for whatever game I decide to play through next. Chances are it'll be the Neptunia crossover someday. Not immediately, but whenever I decide to give it a shot. Alright, thanks everybody. See ya. Bye.